What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great, the powerful, Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Tonight's brew is from Urban Chestnut. It is their DorfBier. Bavarian-Style Dunkel. Adam will have more on that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? A little bit of controversy brewing in the local beer scene.
I like what you did there.
And we'll get into that. Mm-hmm. Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1, Volume 2. We finally have our first look at what is one of the most anticipated shows in the history of Netflix.
For sure.
So we'll talk about that. And what else? All that and more.
Yeah, there was one more thing.
There was one more thing. We'll get to it.
One more thing.
But we'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you like that?
I did. It's great.
After 350 episodes, you would think that I'd be able to transition out of an awkward moment like that. And yet, here we are.
Keeping you on your toes. Just stare into frame for a minute. We all feel it, right? Yeah?
This is episode 350. 350 of the One Beer In podcast. One Beer In podcast. Here. Right. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and see where that one brew takes us. As I said, this is episode 350.
Mm-hmm.
We did it despite our best efforts.
We did it.
We made it to 350 episodes.
We did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. And, thank you guys for rocking with us for that many episodes. Whether you're listening for the first time tonight or whether you're listening since we started this joint, since it was 45 minutes of just beer talk.
If that.
Yeah. We appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you for being here. And we hope for 350 more.
Mm-hmm.
And we promise episode 400 will be extra special.
Yeah, we'll do something for it.
We'll put some sauce on it.
Yeah.
You know. But with this 350, it's a nice little milestone.
It's an observation, right? An observed holiday, if you will.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So without further ado, Obi, please tell the people a little bit more about what we are drinking tonight.
I would love to. This is the Urban Chestnut Brewing Company DorfBier Bavarian-Style Dunkel Lager. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have a cold read for the first time in so long.
Shit.
This is from the Reverence Series number 3, and it goes as follows. Historically, Dunkel lagers are the original everyday beers of Munich and the surrounding Bavarian villages. With a dark amber color, DorfBier, or village beer, utilizes Munich malt and a slight amount of roasted malt to create a smooth, easy-drinking, slightly toasty lager. Prost. Gotta do it. You can find Urban Chestnut in St. Louis, Missouri. This comes in at a 4.8% ABV, and we'll have more thoughts on it at the end of the show.
She's a light girl.
Yeah.
4.8. All right. So, One Beer In podcast for two brews. You know the drill.
Mm-hmm.
I just found this out today, talking amongst the beer folk.
Okay.
All the beer folk.
Yeah, the beer fellows.
The beer fellows.
Yeah.
Common beer fellows.
Mm-hmm.
That apparently out here in the local scene, you can, at this point, you can throw a rock 50 yards and you'll probably hit a brewery around here.
Yeah.
Everybody is getting one.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah. They're popping up all over the place, which is why it's so easy for us to
Get to 350 episodes.
Yeah, and have enough beer to do so. So yeah, if you ever find yourself in the Central Florida area, you will have a wealth of places to go to if all you're trying to do is drink beer. So, with that being said, there's some places that have been here a while. There's some places that have just popped up. One, I don't know if I guess you'd call it a mainstay of the Sanford area.
It's been there a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a brewery out in the Sanford area, which is close to Orlando. If you're not from here and have no reference points for that, it's just like a city outside of Orlando. Sure. Called Wops Hops. Which, even saying that, like, not out loud, but like to potentially so many people.
Yeah, broadcasting it.
Yeah. Feels weird. Feels kind of icky.
True.
But it's a place out here.
It's the name of it.
And apparently the guy himself is Italian. Todd.
Refers to himself as the Wop.
The Wop. Yeah. So.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you call yourself the racial slur, then it doesn't matter.
Gives himself the permission to be called that.
Right.
So, and the name of his business. So
if you walk in and you're like, "Where's the fucking Wop?" And
you may not want to do that, but
what if you don't know him and you're just like, I'm looking for the Wop? What's the difference between that and knowing the guy?
I feel like there's a big difference between knowing him and not knowing him and saying that.
I don't think so.
It sounds like a shakedown the other way.
Yeah, either way, I think it sounds bad. Anyway, this guy, he's been running that joint for years now, and suffice to say, I mean, it's a cool place to go out here. It's not like I got nothing against the Wop.
You better not,
Toddy the Wop.
You better not.
But he has recently found himself in the middle of some controversy. I guess they were planning on coming out with a blonde ale, and the idea was to call it a 20-something blonde. And they had a label planned for it, and it was a busty. It was an animated like busty blonde, and not only that, but in the caption of the original post, it was something to the effect of how Todd likes his women. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, there's layers to this.
That was also part of the. I didn't tell you that part.
No, you didn't. I haven't seen the post, and that's because it's been deleted. Right. So you can't find it if you're looking it up at this point. But
they are doing some damage control right now. Let me see. Let me see if Steve sent it to me. No, he didn't.
The actual post.
Yeah, I was hoping that he. They're doing some damage control now because. Is that it right there?
It comes up in a search. So I think the beer is brewed, but maybe they were just planning on
click that.
Actually releasing it.
Why did it just disappear?
maybe they deleted it.
Wait, what was that? What link was that?
It was just the Google image search.
No, go back. I'm saying like what popped up when 20-year bro.
It's just a day ago. So was that when it was posted?
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Okay.
And I guess whatever that link was, they were able to delete that.
Yeah.
So if you Google it, you can kind of see it in Google, but if you click on the link,
let's see if we can open the image. Okay, so it's just a tiny little preview of an image.
So
if we can find a bigger picture, we'll drop it in here. You'll drop it in here. Remember.
Thanks.
Remember to do it. We didn't drop in a picture of Celine last time, so...
Oh, we didn't?
We did not.
Ooh, yikes.
So...
Well, that's it.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. But yeah, it just looks like a caricature drawing of a... looks kind of like a German...
Yeah.
what are they called? the beer ladies.
Yeah.
That go around with the multiple beers in their hands.
Yeah. The beer wench.
It's not a beer wench.
I thought that was the medical term.
It's not. Put some respect on the name, okay?
No, they had. Yeah, I forgot what it is. But that's what it's like. This like crudely drawn beer woman.
Thank you for not saying wench.
Yeah.
I heard you go, beer.
Boo.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the drawing. I think it's the name of the beer coupled with the original Instagram post that has got him in hot water.
Probably.
So, it finds itself first. Some women who are part of the Pink Boot Society, they found it. Pink Boot Society is a collective of women, helping to progress the movement of women brewers in the industry.
Right. Which has been, wrought with over-sexualization of women, harassment,
right.
All these things that we don't have to tell you about.
Well, and that's exactly the issue here, is that this industry has been having a reckoning.
Yeah.
Like most industries, like a lot of entertainment industries have been having.
Or traditionally like boys club environments.
Yeah. Because of the Me Too movement helped springboard this, and now all these other industries are like having those kind of reckonings or come to Jesus moments in the industry.
Yeah.
And we had ours in the beer industry, like, I don't know, a year ago maybe.
But it's been brewing for a long time. I just did a search on over-sexualization in breweries, and an article came up from 2016.
Yeah.
Talking about the over-sexualization of beer advertising in general.
Yeah.
Not even talking about craft breweries necessarily, but just overall.
You don't even have to be in the industry to
oh, yeah, of course.
To realize
of course. If you think back to, like, when we were kids, like, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of beer advertising was based around, like, hot chicks and, like, these we're just bros and dudes.
Just dudes being bros.
And we're going to get the hot chicks from having these cold beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, there's that one SNL sketch where the wife, it's a thing where, like, they give the wife like a child's game to play, and she's like making the Tostitos for her husband, and he's just like, get the fuck out of here, and then she like falls in love with like someone else's girlfriend. It's a great sketch.
Yeah.
But it's making fun of like that 90s mid-millennium advertising of like the dudes are in the fucking living room and the wife is, oh honey, and they're fucking
it's boys night
drinking beers.
Yeah.
I'm in my man cave.
Or just like chicks in bikinis washing cars. And,
yeah.
That's the other side of it too.
Yeah.
What was the burger chain?
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. Yeah.
Well, that's like, I'm pretty sure that's how Kate Upton became like super famous.
Huge,
she was already like famous, but that definitely helped.
I'm sure. Wasn't Paris Hilton part of that too? I think she had a commercial. I think she had a commercial with them. Yeah. Weird times to look back on. Yeah. But anyway, yes. So it's been prevalent in the beer industry for a very long time, and it's obviously that sort of thing has trickled down from the mainstays.
Yeah.
I mean, I can even think back when I was in my advertising classes.
And they were telling you white chicks sell stuff?
And not too many words, but... no, I mean, it was well known that was a tactic for breweries. We actually had a specific project about breweries. And, like, one of the examples was actually, like, literally objectifying in hindsight now, because this brewery had like a red ale and a blonde and et cetera, and they were all shown as women.
Yeah.
Because of course only guys want beer,
right?
Clearly, and guys want women too. So 1 and 2 go together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, like, looking back, it is so obviously like dumb and basic and objectifying. But literally, it was something being taught as recently as when I went to college, and I'm not going to tell you when that was, because it's a very long time ago.
Fuck.
Yeah, 1982. But yeah, I mean, 1982. I think if if that shows anything, it's just how like pervasive that sort of campaign idea has been forever and ever and ever, and only now are things starting to change.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to think it is a great thing for women in the industry and the industry at large.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, it is a great thing, and yet, you know, when you get down to the local level, it's something that's like still pervasive.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like, and they know, not to their credit, but, you know, I guess to their detriment, like, they knew as soon as they posted this thing and they started getting shit on for it. I'm talking about Wops Hops.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately they delete the post.
Right.
I mean, you can still go on Untapped, I think, and find the beer itself.
Yeah. I what I'm thinking is the beer was already brewed and probably in-house at the time. Like at the brewery, you could probably get it on draft, but they were maybe thinking of having
trying to bottle it or
a bottle or something, some kind of larger rollout.
Yeah.
So
distro it. It's a terrible label.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, that literally the background is a free image that we've used in the past.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if that is like straight up the real label, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So, just not even from a moral standpoint, from just a
design standpoint,
it's awful.
Yeah, on all accounts.
I don't know. It's like you know, one step forward, two steps back, I guess.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, and you know, I don't mean disrespect to Wops Hops in general, because I have had a good time there before. But it's a hole in the wall, you know?
Yeah.
It's a small place.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't have like a dedicated PR person on staff or an advertising guy, you know? Or
no, they got Todd and then some other guy, and then apparently 2 women that work there, because we know that now,
because
based on their Instagram, they posted about them.
Very clear. Whoopsie.
So that's good. As now we know that there's at least women there.
Yeah.
They probably weren't consulted on the decision to name the beer what they named it, or come up with that label, or maybe they were.
Maybe they were.
Didn't give a
yeah,
shit.
maybe they didn't see anything wrong with it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't call it. Click on their most recent post.
Let's see.
So their most recent post is
always a fun night when Haley and Kara are working. So
is that 2 pictures?
No. It's just one person.
Okay, so it's one pic. Okay, so this is great. Okay, let's break this down for a second.
Okay.
I love this.
Okay, this was posted 1 day ago, so that is the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
The caption says, "Always a fun night when Haley and Kara are working," but there's only one woman in the picture. So, either they just forgot to post
the second
picture and haven't cleaned this up, or it doesn't fucking matter. You know?
Yeah.
To them, is what I'm saying. Like, they're just like, yeah, always a fun night when you know, two, you know... no, go back. I want to go through the comments real quick. Again, who the fuck is that? Because that person looks like...
The same person?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only clicked on this one because I think they posted pretty close to each other. Yeah, that was definitely the same person.
That's the same person.
Yeah.
So Haley or Kara is the 2 most recent posts. Mm-hmm. And then all of the comments are dealing with... They hashtagged respect the craft. And a lot of people are like, respect the craft, but not the women that work there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many? 6, 7, 8. 8 comments so far, and it's all about their non-apology and their shooking and jiving around the controversy.
Yeah, well, you know, they made the rookie PR mistake of not immediately addressing what's happening.
Yeah.
And are instead trying to wait for this all to blow over, which is never a good idea. Yeah,
because the thing is that they're such a small place that if anyone cares, it's going to be people who are passionate about that, and they're not going to just let it blow over. I mean, one thing if it was just like bigger companies can do that. Bigger companies can just go
keep moving. Yeah.
And then, after a while, those comments will start to fall off.
Sure.
And then, a month from now, we won't even be talking about this.
Yeah.
Smaller companies, though, you've got to address that type of shit. You can't just pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to build from an organic place.
Right. And I will say, I feel like most of the PR play here is to get new people attracted to Wops Hops, because I guarantee, the general crowd there tends to be a bit older.
It's the crowd of they would have loved that label and see nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. And I guarantee they're not looking at this and being like, well, I'm never going back to Wops Hops ever again.
Right.
Right. I mean, chances are, even if they are aware of it, they're like, I don't see the big deal. Let's move forward. Or even, I will support them even more because they're clearly a subject of cancel culture.
Yeah. They're getting canceled.
Right, exactly. So do I think this is going to really affect their bottom line? Not immediately, but I think it could affect as far as new people coming into it. Because I don't think a lot of those commenters are even locals or have regularly gone to Wops Hops.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it. But they probably heard about it because of Pink Boot Society and are, rightfully so, upset about what happened. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the response is, because I guarantee there will be some kind of response. They're not going to stay quiet forever.
They can't.
They never are. Even if it takes a full week for them to gestate on it and to talk to the higher ups and be like, hey, you gotta say something.
Nothing in their stories.
No, nothing at all. It's just about the beer, another latest beer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it may take a little bit of time, but I guarantee you're going to see a response to this.
Yeah.
Now, from where you're sitting, do you agree that it's a big deal that was going to be the label? Is it about the label or more about the post itself? Which is kind of hard to talk about because we don't have the post in front of us. But from what you've heard, how do you feel about it?
I saw the post with my own eyes, so that's,
You've seen it.
I seen it.
Okay.
So even if, you come down to, well, we never, it's like, whatever, man, I saw it. I don't need you telling me.
A lot of people saw it. Apparently.
I think that, it's 2022. It's really not that hard to not be an asshole about stuff like this.
Uh-huh.
Just pick a different name. You just, you have to, it's not even it's not a clever name, and who are you trying to advertise that to? Who is that? Who's supposed to be drinking that? It just, on all accounts, it's at no point somebody was like, it's really not that good of a name. Even beyond being offensive, it's it's just not really that clever. It's not really who's gonna buy this?
Yeah, I assume it was just this is tongue in cheek, That's cute.
Yeah, it was probably 3 or 4 old white dudes in there who were this is funny. That's the only explanation.
Yeah.
It's not the only explanation, but it's the one that I'm going with.
It is proof that's what happened.
Proof positive. There's only old white dudes that work there, and they're the only ones who make decisions there. You heard it here first.
Uh-huh.
I just think that there are too many breweries, and this has gone on for too long for this to be. Do I think that do I think that it's this so detrimental that you should close Wops Hops or anything like that? I don't think it's that crazy, but I do think that how many times is something like this going to happen before it's just hey man, there's no excuse for this. It's just grow up, just grow up. But
yeah.
But how many times are we going to fucking talk about this in varying industries? Just grow up.
Oh, I think that's clearly where the industry is moving, so that's a good thing. Really, this reaction is a sign of progress. I know a lot of people who disagree with quote cancel culture will disagree with that statement, but at the same time, I just feel like the inclusivity that we're seeing with women in the industry is only a net positive. Right. If that label makes a future brewer who happens to be a woman uncomfortable, then I'm glad it didn't get posted.
Yeah.
Personally, do I find that crudely drawn image of a beer wench, as Marco said? Not me.
Oh, you bastard.
Do I find that offensive? Personally, no. But I can see why it would be offensive to some people, including, especially adding to that any kind of, tongue-in-cheek, crude kind of posts that went along with it, talking about the women that Mr. Wop enjoys.
Yeah.
Like I could see how that could be uncomfortable for
Dr.
people.
Wop.
Excuse me.
Dr. Todd Wop.
That's my father. Please just call me Wop.
Just call me Wop.
Yeah, so I get it. I get it and I understand. And I think it's a good thing that people are demanding some kind of answer for this, and I think it's a lesson for them to move forward and be a bit more thoughtful about what they call their beers and the general atmosphere of the brewery itself.
Yeah.
Just to make sure everything is ship shape. Because I don't know the environment, but I'm sure that they'll be conscious of it moving forward, at very least.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like the conversations that must have been had where they probably didn't think twice about it. They probably thought, that's harmless.
Well, because it would have been 10 years ago.
Yeah. And maybe even there was probably women around who probably were, maybe cut their eyes at it and didn't think twice about it. But we're in a place now where there are a lot of people are vocal about stuff like this. And again, does it need to turn the world on its head every time? No. Does Todd Wop need to change his entire business? No. Does he, like you said, need to be a little bit more thoughtful about, how he goes about some stuff like this? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just need to be smarter.
Sure.
Because even if it is harmless at the end of the day, which I don't, it isn't, but even if it were something harmless at the end of the day, it's there's enough women who are passionate about beer who would see that. And if enough of them are off put by it, it's
even if you're not vomiting and crying over it, eye rolling at it, I think is enough for you to be like, this is a negative interaction with this brewery.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this.
If you have to be come on, it's not right. Come on, it's not that big a deal, right?
Yeah.
If you have to have that kind of attitude about it, it's maybe you just shouldn't have made the joke in the first place. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, and I think to cap it off, at least for me.
Yeah. I'm done with
it. Fine. I think this was a sort of a comedy of errors because the image itself alone, no problem, right? The image itself, it's not a very good drawing. I'm sorry, whoever did it. But the image itself, inoffensive. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
The image added to it being called a 20-year-old blonde.
Yeah.
20-year-old, like a young blonde, right? You don't need to add that element. That adds a bit of a creepy factor to it, right? It makes you feel kind of predatory, right?
Yeah.
So that was strike 2.
So now it's gross twice.
And then 3 is, from what you say, the post itself.
Yeah.
Saying that this is what Mr. Wop, Dr. Wop,
Dr. Wop
enjoys as far as his taste in women.
Once, twice, 3 times a pervert.
Yes. So, you may get away with one of those things, but all 3 at the same time.
It just can't do it.
It's too much.
You flew too close to the sun, Icarus.
Yeah. So.
And those wax wings, they melted.
They doth melt. Anywho, we'll see what happens out of this, but it's probably going to be your general, template of apology.
You know what I want to do? I want to go in there, and I just want to talk to somebody and just be like, "It's fucking bullshit, man. I wanted that 20-year-old blonde.
Who doesn't like a 20-year-old blonde?
I mean, come on. You know? Who cares? Yeah. And then see how many people who are like, yeah!
Hell yeah, brother. Get a high five.
Hell yeah, brother. Okay. Okay, Chip. I remember what the other thing was.
Okay. We'll get there when we get there.
So you want to do Stranger Things then?
Yeah.
Trailer trash?
Trailer trash. Jesus Christ. Oh, it knocked my beanie off. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
Oh, now that your ears are bleeding.
Stranger Things Season 4. We finally have our real first look. We updated you guys with the imagery from Season 4, the first pictures. I think it was Entertainment Weekly or Hollywood Reporter or whatever. Yeah, who gives a shit? And now we finally have the first real official trailer. So Obi, take us through. I mean, what'd you think, man? First look at Season 4. Finally.
I mean, I always enjoy the choice of Journey in my soundtrack for a trailer.
Of course.
So that was a plus at the very start.
Acapella
of everything.
Was very cool.
Yeah. And it was one of those things that I'm like, is this Journey?
Yeah,
this is Journey.
Yeah.
So okay, that was a plus. And then on top of that, I mean, I was really concerned if you guys didn't listen to the episode we talked about it on, which you should have. Shame on you. I was really worried about the tone more than anything else of the show because to me, Stranger Things is in its heart and soul basically like an E.T. analog, like it is supposed to be younger kids doing an adventure, Monster Squad, stuff like that. Goonies, obviously. But, I guess the question for me was what happens when they get older? Like, where do we go from here? Are we going full horror? Are we turning it into like Stranger Things? To me, has to be an homage to something in the 80s. Like without that, it is rudderless. I don't know. I mean, that's what they set this show up to be.
Yeah. And
I'd be happy for it to stand on its own too, but so far it hasn't really for me as a show in general. I've enjoyed it. I'm not one of those haters of season 2 and 3, but I get it. I get why some people really aren't looking forward to season 4. That being said, I really like the tone they've set. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised by how dark it feels, how epic it feels. I think my only concern is, one of the first things you pointed out about it, which is, the monsters are talking now. So I'm curious. I mean, they say the word war like 10 times in the trailer, so it's like I'm worried about what we're going to do as far as scope of this thing and if it can kind of spiral out of control. As far as creatively and maybe getting a bit too big for its britches. Because I like it more so when it's this like mystery, horror, suspense kind of thing. But if it just becomes like, a deleted scene from Lord of the Rings or something at some point, I'm going to kind of tune out. Unless they really, pay that off in some really cool way. So having this like what seems to be this like ultimate evil bad guy, unless they make that character really interesting, I'm not really as into it as I would be for like a brainless killing machine, like a xenomorph or something, like that appeals to me a bit more when we're talking about this like 80s pastiche.
Well, and that's what worked in the first couple of seasons. was that it was just this nameless, faceless monster. It was literally a faceless monster with fucking, and that was frightening enough.
Yeah,
it didn't need motivation.
Mm-hmm.
It wanted to break through to the other side. That's all it.
And that's the thing, though, is like, I mean, it's a cliche at this point, but the more you show the monster, the less scary it is.
Right.
So I get the need to change things up, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Again, another thing that's a hallmark of Stranger Things to me is the mystery of it all. And, keeping things in the shadows and us unveiling a little bit more with every episode.
Yeah.
And if there's, I mean, it's hinting, this trailer's hinting at more mystery to unveil, because obviously, like, we have to find out about the Russians, and we have to find out who this big bad is for this season, and why the kids are going to have to save the day again, and all these
why
all
is
these
David
things.
Harbour's character locked up in the first place? Why is he in prison?
Right, and
or whatever.
He's
not really prison. It's like a concentration camp,
basically. Yeah, Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
So I get there's stuff to unveil, but I just hope that they maintain a lot of mystery around it and don't just make it like more of an action show. Because I'm not sure if, I'm sure they're throwing as much money as they possibly can from Netflix.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's really going to be the strength to lean on for a TV show. Is like a big epic, battle kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they even have a choice at this point.
This has to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, I mean, the last season ended with like them taking on a monster that destroyed an entire mall, right? They had to move away from the city and all that. One of the main characters dies. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. Well, and visions of like the giant monster too, right?
Yeah.
Like in past seasons, there's just been that vision of like this earth-ending giant monster.
Right. And it kind of finally, well, I don't know if it came to fruition. You have one of the big monsters. But the thing is, like, everything that they show in the trailer, I don't know, man. It just kind of didn't get me excited. It kind of got me worried about everything that you're talking about, that you don't want it to be. It really kind of feels like that's exactly
it's going to be that.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
It looks like exactly what's on the table. Is like, all this talk of war. The budget's obviously bigger.
Sure.
You already have, like, shit exploding and, like, different crazy shit happening. And it's like, it has no choice but to be larger. The scope has to be bigger.
Yeah.
I think that...
This guy doing a guitar solo in the Upside Down.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what that's about. And they're really going to have to earn that one.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and I was just like, maybe I'm being fucking cynic, but I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's sad, but it's like, it feels like they're just latching on to the things that were earned in previous seasons. Like, that was obviously a one-up on homie who sang the Never-Ending Story.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But that was earned throughout the whole season.
Yeah,
He's talking about this girlfriend.
Up.
And they set it up, and then it pays off.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that's amazing. Yeah. It was like, golden TV moment, like a classic.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh, so it just, and that's what you get when you build something organically, and then it pays off, and the payoff is earned instead of forced.
Sure.
You get this thing that people fall in love with, and that's why shit like that goes viral, because it's like, this makes sense to me. It's a thing that, like, you don't need to be a screenwriter. You don't need to have seen a million movies to understand when something makes sense and when it doesn't make sense, and when a thing is earned and when it's unearned, and when it's forced. You just can feel it.
I was going to say, you can at least feel it.
Yeah. So I hope that they do the same with all of the... I mean, it just looks like junk. Like, it's so much stuff that they threw into this trailer.
Well, I mean, one thing I don't think we really touched on is that they are giving themselves even more time to add in that junk.
Yeah.
Because they're separating into two separate releases. So, like, we're doing the Harry Potter route at this point. So part 1 is going to debut May 27th. And then the second part's going to be July 1st. So we're going to have a couple of months in between.
That's actually not that bad. It just kind of feels like
But why?
Release the whole thing, yeah.
Do they need just that time to really, like, get the CG down? Like
May 27th and then July what?
1st.
That's not even a full 2 months.
No. So
that's a month in in a couple days.
That's what I'm wondering why they're choosing to do that. Is it to just keep people on edge? Is it was that a request from Netflix to keep people on a little bit longer? I'm very
make it
curious.
So that people have to they have to do their excuse me, their 7-day trial has to be up before they have to.
That could very well be. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. When
are we going to get past those predatory?
Never.
It's fucked up. Think about that. It's really fucked up when you think about
capitalism, baby.
They would rather, instead of just. I would more support a company that did a 7-day free trial, and then on the 7th day, shot me an email and was like, "Your 7-day free trial is up. If you don't act now, we will continue the trial."
Yeah.
Instead of just, gotcha.
Yeah. Whoops.
And then slipping off into the background,
Uh-huh.
Because that company feels like, I know that they don't care about me as a person, but it feels like they care about me as a person. Not care about me as a consumer either. But it would be...
They care that you consume.
It would be nice to feel like they actually gave a shit about, what I was doing, as opposed to just how many names are, how many numbers can we get? It's very predatory.
Yeah. Well, you're a number, Marco. So
Yeah.
your dollar signs to them.
Not a lot of dollar signs.
Enough,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Didn't look... it's hard to say something like that with the budget that it is and the hype that it has. It's hard to call it trash.
Sure. But remember what our criteria is here. If it makes you less excited or not excited at all about the product or video or movie or TV show, then it is trash by our definition.
It is trash.
If it makes you excited about it in any way, if it's on the positive side of that in any way, it is not trash.
I think I gotta go trash.
Okay.
I think I gotta trash it.
I respect it. I'm gonna say not trash for me, only because I liked the fact that I felt a tone, and that tone is epic, which is not necessarily what I want from Stranger Things, but I'm a bit more in that I feel like there is some kind of cohesive, coherent tone. So I feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes, but, overall, not trash for me. Journey Alone. So, separate ways. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It is a great song.
It's a great song.
And the way that they did it, that was good.
Yeah.
I gotta give them that.
Fair enough.
All right. I remember the last thing that we wanted to talk about, which was method acting.
Right.
So, Morbius releases, and it's one of the lowest rated Marvel movies of all time. It's still rated higher than Fantastic Four.
Technically a Sony movie. Let's not get the wires crossed here, okay?
Okay. Well, apparently there is some post-credit scene that connects the dots, but I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. It had the highest drop-off, second week sales, for any Marvel Sony movie.
Right.
And pretty much everybody's like, this movie sucks. And they're clowning Jared Leto, because Jared Leto has been getting by on the goodwill of winning that Oscar all those years ago since winning that Oscar. He's been getting by on that goodwill.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys.
I mean, before then, though.
I'm saying that, like, he hasn't done anything good since
then. Yeah.
And he's been getting by. He's been, like, just riding the, or coasting on the laurels, rather, of that one.
We're trying to recreate that over and over again.
Because
with Morbius.
I just rewatched, rather, Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
Still holds up. Still incredible.
Oh, great.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Mm-hmm. You could classify it as one of the best sequels ever made. I mean, Godfather 2. Mm-hmm. What's some other good sequels?
Breakin' 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm. Sequels.
Yeah.
Star Wars 2. Or
Star Wars 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Toy Story. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2. Star Wars Episode 5.
I meant Star Trek 2.
Oh, Star Trek 2. Yeah. Wrath of Khan. Right.
Much better than the first movie.
Yeah. And I would firmly put 2049 in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had this discussion before, and I hate to, retread, but... Better than the original. Yeah.
He said it. He said it, folks.
I love Blade Runner, but it's better.
All that to say, Jared Leto just kind of shows up in that movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything of note.
No.
So even, like, the best movie that he's done since Dallas Buyers Club, Could
have been someone else.
Yeah.
Could have been recast.
And was he method acting in that? Was he walking around with his eyes closed, like bumping into walls and stuff? Because he didn't have the AI technology following him?
Just being very weird.
Yeah. So he has unfortunately become the actor, ubiquitous, or not ubiquitous, what is that word? There's a better word than associated with, but yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to, it doesn't matter. My brain's not working. He has become the actor associated with method acting because of these most recent roles that he's been in. He's made news because of the weird shit that he's done.
Yeah.
So he plays Joker.
Yeah.
And he sends his castmates like used condoms and like blood-filled capsules and dead rats and shit like that. And he's like, that's what the Joker would have done, man.
Yeah.
And so
I'm the Joker, baby.
He does that. Morbius. He will only answer to Morbius. Apparently, like
he only drank blood.
The character is crippled in the I don't know the fucking, but he's walking on like.
You've clearly done your research.
Well, okay.
Yes, he's ill.
Dr. Morbius is yes.
Yes.
He's stricken with some kind of physical ailment that he's been stricken with his entire life, and this has caused his motor skills to be that of I don't know, not good.
Right.
That of not good.
Yeah. I'm more happy with you going that route as opposed to naming someone who is also quote unquote crippled. Thank you, Marco. Yeah. There's a better way to go about it.
Okay. And so the character undergoes his transformation, obviously. It's pretty clear from the trailer.
Yes, he gets empowered
some kind of vampire power.
But becomes a vampire at the same time. It's a monkey paw,
Right.
You get the strength, but you have to feed on blood.
Yeah. And so apparently when he was filming the scenes where he was ill, he needed help going to the bathroom. Can you imagine a grown man, able-bodied, who's just going dead weight on you, and you have to like get a bunch of like best boys and security guards and like boom guys to like carry him to the bathroom?
You know what I would have done? Let him shit his pants. I would have left him there and just let him
see how
sit.
far he's gonna take the
just
method.
let him sit. Just let him sit there. Hey, Morbius.
Because then he turns around and he pulls the actor card. And he's like,
it's fine. I'd rather get fired I'd rather get fired from the set of Morbius.
Yeah. Honestly, as the director, you probably should have they probably should have hoped to get fired from that movie.
Yeah.
And then you can put that on your resume, like we cited creative differences. And then when the movie comes out and it does like 30% of Rotten Tomatoes, you go, those are my creative differences.
There it is.
Whatever you didn't like,
that was it.
I don't like that shit either.
I agree.
So he's made the news again. Well, he's made the news, and then other actors have starting to, like, I guess, be asked about method acting.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Pattinson has been one of these actors who's like, you know, basically he thinks it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson has been one of these guys.
Martin Freeman.
And then Will Poulter is now the most recent guy who's been asked about it.
Who's going to be in
Guardians 3.
3.
And he has the same opinion that, like, you know, you're just kind of full of shit.
Sure. And
I think method acting is now getting this bad rap.
It is. It most certainly is.
And I think that I'm a little surprised at some of these well-known actors who understand what the method is, who are turning around and like, you know, they're like, kind of, you know, you're an asshole if you're one of these guys who, like, you know, can't get out of character and blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just a little surprised. Okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't say No. I'm surprised. I'm surprised at these guys because I guess it's because there's no one left of note who still does the method. The only guys left are guys like Jared Leto who give it a bad name. Because, like, if Pacino was still doing the method, if he was like, every role I'm still doing it, or De Niro is like, I'm still going into character and stuff.
Doing that is just doing this.
That's the method. That's all the method is. So if those guys were still out and about, you know, talking about the method and stuff, I don't know. I don't think you would be seeing like these high profile actors dogging the method the way that they are.
Well, it's always been, I think, a hotly contested method. No pun intended. You know, there's always been people saying it's bullshit, it's pretentious, you don't need to do that to act. And there's always been other people who've said, no, you must respect the method, and it gets you a better performance ultimately. And, you know, sure, some people can get the same results out of not doing it, but plenty of other great actors need that in order to perform to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think is a reasonable thing to say, but Will Poulter actually said something that I 100% agree with, which is, then I quote, this is according to IGN.com, when it comes to an actor's process, whatever that is, so long as it doesn't infringe on other people's and you're being considerate, then fine, he said. But if your process creates an inhospitable environment, then to me, you've lost sight of what's important. Method acting shouldn't be used as an excuse for inappropriate behavior, and it definitely has.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. Like, sure, do your method. Whatever you have to do to get in character, you know, study whatever you need to. Get in that mind space in order to be able to live in that moment that you're acting within. Sure, that makes perfect sense. But don't be an asshole to people.
Yeah.
You know? Like, realize you are still performing a job in which other people may not be part of that method that you're a part of.
Right.
I say as long as you stay within those constraints, you know, put those safety barriers on, hey, more power to you. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do. But at the same time, if you are being a weirdo and mailing used condoms to people, your co-stars, like, that wouldn't fly in any other scenario.
Right.
And I understand that, sure, you know, you're all playing make-believe and this is a dumb profession to be a part of, but you got to respect people.
Yeah, it's still a job.
They are still people. Yeah.
They're still doing their jobs.
Right. So unless everyone is signed on the dotted line saying we're all in this game together and no holds barred, don't hurt anyone, but beyond that, be as weird as you got to be.
Yeah.
Which isn't the case. You can't do that.
Yeah, and I think the people who take the method thing too far outside of the bounds of making the film, I wonder how much that really helps in the long run anyway. Because if you're, say, Jared Leto, and you're doing all these things because you think the character would do them, like, how much are you really in the headspace of this character that you've created when you're doing a thing that is you're making the lives of your coworkers difficult outside of the framing of the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And so you now have to like picture yourself as Dr. Morbius making a movie about Dr. Morbius. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Because you're no longer just doing a thing, and like you're now interacting with other actors and people who are on like cast and crew of a movie set.
Sure.
So how can that help you? It's one thing if let's say he went out there in disguise and he was out in the streets and stuff, and he was like when actors do like ride-alongs and stuff, or when they like, you know, I was homeless for a week to really feel what it feels like to be homeless. That kind of shit like makes sense because you put yourself in
research.
Yeah. But to just be like, you know, I'm Abe Lincoln, and it's like, well, no, you're not. No, you're not, because you're sitting on a chair,
yes, Mr. President,
waiting to film a movie. And there's people walking around with cell phones, and you're eating food that you wouldn't have eaten 100 years ago. So no, you're not.
Yeah.
So you don't get, like, that's the part. The being an asshole part obviously goes along with that. And I obviously don't think that, like, I don't think you should have carte blanche to just be a dickhead to people just because you're making a movie. But I think more so than just, you know, the golden rule of do unto others, I just don't understand how it's even advantageous to act that way, even for the role itself.
I kind of get it, because it helps you more readily get to that place when they say action, you know? If you're already there, you don't have to like hype yourself up in the moment and be like, all right. So in the movie, I lost my parents, and, you know, I have whatever disease and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. You're already there. You know, you're already revved up to that point. You're thinking in that character's headspace the entire day. I get that. And then when they say action, you're already there, and you just have to remember your lines. And that's it.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. I get that. But again, it's like, just don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, remember Travis was telling us about Jonathan Majors on the set of the what was that show? The H.P. Lovecraft show?
Yeah, Lovecraft Country.
And he was saying that, like, I don't know if he named him on the show, so I kind of outed him if he didn't name him.
Uh-huh.
I think he was being coy at the time because he was either he was still filming it or it hadn't come out yet or whatever. But anyway, he said that Jonathan Majors was like really intense to be around on the set of the show because he was like trying to stay in character. He was trying to stay in that mode of like, and that's, I get that, like an intensity, a guy who, like, you know, just leave him alone for now. Like, he needs to like stay in it.
You get to an emotional space.
Yeah,
you know?
I get that.
That makes perfect sense.
But to be like, you know, just to do the full method thing, yeah. I just don't see how, again, I don't even see how it can even be advantageous to the role itself. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I've looked up the method. I've looked, you know, just because I was like curious about it, because all my favorite actors do it.
Sure.
So I always wondered about it. And like, it's not really even as intensive as some of these guys make it out to be. You know? Like, it's really just as simple as you're trying to not just play a character, you're trying to live whatever the character is, so that your emotions become that character's emotions, and you think about things in the way that the character would think about them.
It's more like a reflex as opposed to a thought out, like, how would my character react to this?
Right.
Instead, you just react.
You live and breathe it.
Yeah.
So, like, you think about what music would, Bobby, whatever his name is, like your character's Bobby Johnson. Mm-hmm. What would Bobby listen to? What kind of food would Bobby eat? What's his relationship with his mother?
Yeah.
What kind of TV shows does he like? Does he laugh at that commercial? Does he think that commercial's stupid? Like, all of those things go into creating this fully fleshed out character.
Yeah.
And I was reading something where, like, Pacino was talking about how he kind of regrets some of the stuff that he did when he was younger doing the method. Like, he did it with, well, he was a method actor, so, like, all of his big
everything.
roles. Yeah. Basically. But, like, the one, I guess, that was the most obnoxious was Scent of a Woman.
Okay, yeah.
Because he played a blind drill sergeant or army major or whatever, Marine. I don't remember. But apparently he was like pretty like belligerent and obnoxious doing that movie.
He's an asshole in that role, so.
Yeah, and he had to, yeah. But he got his Oscar.
Yep.
But I would argue that he didn't deserve that Oscar. I would argue that he deserved 2 Oscars for Godfather and Serpico. Those the Oscars that I think he deserved, and he didn't get those. Yeah. And then he got one for Scent of a Woman in fucking 1992. That's a gimme Oscar. That's what that is.
It for sure was, yeah.
So,
Who's still talking about Scent of a Woman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The only thing, even when you talk about Scent of a Woman, the only thing you talk about is like, hoo-ah, he did that. That was cool. Yeah. Wow. And he played, it's great. It's a great movie. But, like, if you go back and look, I think, I did this the other day, actually. I looked at, like, who he was nominated against, and I don't think he... Oh, that was the Malcolm X year. That's what it was. Denzel was nominated for Malcolm X, and he should have won that. They gave Pacino the Oscar, and it was a gimme year because they were just like, he's gone so long without an Oscar. Right. He's been nominated like 7 times, and he hasn't gotten it, so we got to throw it to him. That's what that was. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. And then Denzel, as much as I love Training Day is a gimme Oscar because he deserved it for Malcolm X.
It keeps leapfrogging further and further down the line. That's what happens. Give people the Oscars when they deserve it.
Just give it to them when they deserve it. Denzel should have 3. He should have Malcolm X. He should have Training Day.
Unstoppable.
Oh, he has Glory too. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's 4.
Yeah.
He deserves 4 because he got Glory. And he got Training Day.
Yeah.
He should have way more. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Glory's great.
Glory's great.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Denzel's great.
Yeah.
And Pacino's great. And Jared Leto had moments.
Yeah.
I'm done with Jared Leto, man. I'm done with him. I'm sick of him. Okay. I'm sick of hearing about him. I'm sick of his cult. I'm sick of his dumb face popping up on my Twitter. I'm sick of everybody pretending like
30 Seconds to Mars.
Everything doesn't have to have a fucking fan base, Morbius doesn't need a fan base. The DCEU their fan base is like fucking fervent, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're sometimes tweets from people who their entire personality is based around the DCEU.
Yeah.
They'll pop up on my Twitter you've liked like similar stuff like this in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll like this tweet.
Topic tweets.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Because I liked one tweet about Zack Snyder. Now you're gonna feed me this shit?
Yeah,
and they do, and they're sick, man. Like, did we even talk about at the Oscars the fan vote?
No,
we didn't even talk about it.
No.
So they did a fan vote at the Oscars. I mean, this is obviously, I don't know if this slipped.
It turned into a meme.
Yeah, it was a farce. It was a farce. Zack Snyder's fans took over, and they voted Army of the Dead, like what, the best movie of the year, or like best scene of the year, or best moment, yeah.
And then what was it? The Flash
as like the most anticipated movie.
Entering the.
Oh yeah, entering
the was it time? Whatever.
The Speed Force or something?
Yeah.
Entering the Speed Force.
Right.
Yeah. So the Oscars learned their lesson pretty quickly. No more fan voting because that's what happens. But just that's what I'm talking about. Some of you guys you don't deserve stuff. You shouldn't. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Oscars.
Fan favorite award.
Fan favorite award. Like, that movie sucked. Army of the Dead sucked. Why? Like, I know that you guys like Zack Snyder, and that's fine. You can like him. He seems like a really nice guy.
He does. He seems very earnest. He seems like he enjoys what he does. And
yeah.
what more can you ask from
and it
a
seems
creator?
like he's like really trying to give the people what they want. He seems like a guy who cares about the fans.
And doing what he likes, which
Yeah.
I really respect. I mean, there's like a ton of like Robert Rodriguez movies I really can't stand.
Yeah.
But at all times, like, he's the same way. It's like he's making what he likes.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna say to that?
Right. You have to give him props for that.
Yes.
Be that as it may, Army of the Dead sucks.
It does.
It's not a good movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie. And that's why we did it.
We have a whole podcast on it.
Yeah. So go back and listen to how, if you want to know exactly how we feel about that. But yeah, so who wins fan favorite?
And then the Oscar cheer moment went to Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut, which won the fan favorite scene that we talked about. Where Flash is, Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yeah.
Who we can have an entire conversation
buddy.
about. That guy enters the Speed Force.
Do we need to just start doing like One Reel In as like more of just an offshoot of just talking about movies, just in general?
That could work.
Seems fun.
We rarely have time to sit down and watch a movie together.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why we've had such a drought of One Reel Ins.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
if we could just have discourse about film in general.
Sure. And then maybe even if like we watch it, like, for instance, Doctor Strange is coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
If we watch it separately, we can still talk about it.
Yeah.
And other things.
Yeah.
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 You have to watch the video version of this podcast to get what we're doing right now.
Or just look up what a WAP is.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hold the phone.
That's called a callback.
That's called something. I'm afraid of what we're going to be called.
I saw somebody on Twitter was like, let's call a spade a spade. And then somebody responded to that earnestly. And they were like, whoa, dude. Super racist. And everyone was like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Like, it's crazy. Can't believe you said that. Fucking 2022. You're still using spade as a saying.
That's an epitaph.
Yeah.
Weird.
Anyway.
Are they from like 1954?
No, they were like they were earnestly like, I can't believe you're still using that kind of.
What would you call the card in 2022? What else is that called?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's also no. Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Yeah.
So shut up.
Well, I always
shut
thought
up about it.
I didn't even think about it as I know that spade can be used racially, but
that's such like an outdated that's
one of those that like Jigaboo or like Jungle Bunny or stuff like that.
It didn't have legs.
Yeah. You hear something like that and you're like, what is that guy, like 100 years
Sure.
old? Like, why is that the first thought that comes to it? Why is that the first insult rather that comes to his mind?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you're even. I'm less insulted and more just amazed that like that's the kind of shit that rumbles around in your brain still.
Only heard that in movies.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I've never in my life heard somebody like.
I've never.
All right. So I guess the bottom line is, do the method, do whatever you need to do. Just don't do it to other people who didn't sign up for it.
Yeah. Only to certain degrees.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If I was on a movie set, if I was just like getting my couple $100 for like my 2 or 3 lines, and the star of the movie was like method acting, man, I would be fucking all for it, dude. I would be all about it.
Hey,
you call him Abe. That's Abe Lincoln. That's the goddamn president over there. Who the fuck are you? Give me that. And like, bring him his coffee. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Anything else that you need? I would be all about it. I would be all over it.
Would you like this freshly picked sugar? It came on railway.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't be caught dead. I'd be, man. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Morbius.
Doctor
Morbius.
Excuse me.
I apologize, sir. I know you earned that degree. Yes. You earned that shit. Oh yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. You guys know what time it is. It's about that time where we try to
find something.
Hang our hats on something positive here.
Ooh.
It's time for cheers of the week. Adam, what's your cheers going to?
I mean, it's not very positive.
Oh, God.
Well, we got to say it. Cheers to Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Have to observe it.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like all of our kind of under-respected comedy voices are slowly slipping away.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
So, yeah, it's been rough. It's been a rough year so far. For comedy.
Yeah, for those guys who are like those in the trenches guys who been around for 100 years, and you're like, yeah, they're just always gonna be. Every time you see them, you're like, oh yeah, recognize that voice, that face.
It's like a feature guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously a mainstay of I mean, everything from movie to movie to TV shows
to TV shows.
What was it called? The Squares.
Hollywood Squares. Yeah.
Some great runs on Hollywood Squares. Just
voice acting.
Oh yeah, of course, voice acting. Iago.
Commercial acting.
Yeah.
Commercial voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Iago. Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously respected just for being a comedic voice in general. I feel like a lot of comedians respected Gilbert in his time, and he's been around for so long. So I thought he deserved his flowers, because I feel like he's one of those guys that a lot of people just didn't respect in his time, because he was just always around. But you tend not to really see how much those kind of people add to the soup of comedy in your time.
Right.
So
right.
He will be missed, Gilbert Gottfried.
Yep. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to Vince Staples. New album out. Ramona Park broke my heart. Vince Staples has put out now, I don't know, the past 3 or 4 albums have all just been bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with Big Fish Theory.
No, great.
I mean, yeah.
Incredible. Such a diversion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
AM. And then a self-titled album with, Kitty Beats. And then this, the guy's on a hot streak. Quietly, there's a couple of guys who've just put out nothing but heat for the past 5 or 6 years. Freddie Gibbs is one of those guys that just starting with Bandana. Not starting with Bandana, but he's been on a hot streak since Bandana.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously has good albums before that. Same with Vince Staples. His albums before Big Fish Theory are good. But once they get on this hot streak and they're just rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramona Park broke my heart. It's just a great album. I've been listening to it nonstop.
Yeah.
So just wanted to big up. It's probably gonna. It's hard to say if it's gonna be at the top of my 2022 list, because there's some just.
It's been a good year of music so far.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about fucking Black Star.
Yeah, we'll get to that next time.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That's got legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, shout out to Vince Staples putting out one of the best albums of the year. Definitely going to be top 5, maybe top 10, maybe top 5. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's great. So go listen to that, and drink some beer and listen to that.
Sure.
Drink.
But should we listen to it and drink this beer?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We have to review this beer.
This beer.
This is the only way for you to know if you should listen to that Vince Staples album and drink this beer at the same time.
This is a good pairing.
This is from Urban Chestnut. It's their DorfBier. DorfBier.
Dorf.
Bavarian-Style.
Speaking of Vince
Dunkel.
Staples.
Yeah.
Dorf.
So, what would you give it, Obi?
I'll keep it really simple. I loved it. I'm going to give it a 5. It is something that if you're a brewer out there and you're looking for a beer for us, keep it simple, keep it basic, but just do it really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's what this thing does.
Yep.
It's you heard it first, folks. The first thing I said when I had this beer was toasty. And that's one of the descriptions on it. Slightly toasty lager. And that's exactly what it is. And it sets out and accomplishes everything it sets out to do.
Yep.
Yeah, just really simple. Nothing surprising, but really, really good. 5 for me.
Unanimous 5 for this bad girl. This is one of those that it should be, you should be able to find this everywhere. It should be like a mainstay. It's delicious, simple, clean, toasty, malty. It's only 4.8%, so it's not like, just the bad. You're not going to toss a couple of these back and you'll get drunk.
But it's not going to ruin your day.
Yeah. This is just a nice, full flavored, full bodied beer, but light on the ABV. I think it's near perfect. So, 5.
Amen, brother.
All right. Think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, then let's get out of here.
There you go. Move the chi.
Yeah. 350 episodes, baby.
Yeah. Tiger Claw.
This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupo, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Happy 350.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
You finish yours, didn't you?
Gulp. I had a drop. It still counts. It's not bad luck.